everyone, today we will be going over how to design a 2-foot by 3-foot size poster. First, open Scribus, and in the new document window, change your default unit to inches, change your width to 24 inches, and change your height to 36 inches. And then click OK. We're really zoomed in right now, so I'm going to adjust the zoom to see the full page. Before we start adding any text, let's create the background. Looking at the example of the flyer that we're creating, you'll see that we have a green background with 2 vector graphics on it. The graphics are a holly leaf and 2 candles. So unlike some of our other tutorial videos where we walk you through how to create a custom background color, the background that we're using for this example is a template image we already made to make it easier for you to work with since it includes the different graphics. So we're going to use the Insert Image Frame tool. Click on your document, change your width to 24 inches, and change your height to 36 inches. Drag the image frame so that it will line up with the red outline of the document. Right-click on the frame and choose Get Image. As you can see, using the image template makes it a lot easier because we already have a green background and the graphics are placed where we want them to be. Now we can start adding our text by going to the Insert Text tool. Let's draw a text box over the holly leaf for where the title will go. I'm going to zoom in for now so that we can look more closely at the text. To edit your text, go to the Text tab under Properties. If you don't see the Properties tab, go to Windows, Properties. We're going to change the font size, and the font color. The font we're using in this example is a pretty cursive font called Grand Hotel. The font size is 248. Normally when you have your text overlap, you would want to change your line spacing to automatic. But we want to adjust the line spacing so that the text will be closer together and fit better on the holly leaf graphic. So make sure you actually choose fixed line spacing and change the value to 225. Underneath the line spacing setting are options to align the text. We want it to be centered, so choose the second option from the left. I'm adjusting the text a little bit so it's more centered on the holly leaf graphic. Next, we want to change the font color. In our example, we're using a burgundy red. To change the font color, go to the Text tab under Properties. Under Color and Effects, there's a drop-down for the fill color. You may notice that the burgundy in the example is not one of these listed colors. That's because these are just default colors that Scribus includes. If you want to use a color other than these, you must create it yourself. To create a custom color, go to Edit, Colors, New. Let's click somewhere in the red part of the color map to give a starting point, and then we can use these sliders to adjust the color to get exactly what we're looking for. You can compare your percentages for these values against the ones shown here if you want to make sure that your color is the exact one we're using. When you get the color that you want, make sure you name your color. Click OK when you're done. With your text still selected, under Color and Effects, you should find your new color under these options. Now we're going to add the date and time of the Christmas Eve service. Let's add another text box using the Insert Text tool. Make sure your text is selected and go to Text. We're going to change the font to Lato Bold. The font size in our example is 102. And here we do want to use automatic line spacing. We want the date to fit on one line, so select the text box and drag out the side. Select all the text again, center it, and now since you've already created the burgundy color, it will show up under your text options. Under Color and Effects, change the font color to the color we created earlier. Next, we can add another text box. In this text box, we can write out the detailed paragraph. We're going to change this text to Lato Regular and the font size to 77. The line spacing needs to be automatic. And this time we're going to make the font color white. Next we can add the church logo. Go to the Insert Image Frame tool. Right-click and choose Get Image. Let's make the logo a little larger. Double-click, go to Image under Properties. You want to use the X scale and Y scale adjustments to change the size of your image. Since we want to make it larger, we're going to choose a value that's larger than 100. Scaling at 125% looks good. Next, we can add the church contact information by drawing out one last text box. We're going to use Lato Bold again for this text. The font size is 45 point. Make sure to change line spacing to automatic again. And we're going to make the color of this text burgundy. Now that we have the elements we need for this flyer, we're just going to take a few minutes and make sure that everything looks good. I'm going to bring the logo down so that it's closer to the contact information, like in the example. One feature in Scribus that's helpful when you're trying to check everything to make sure that it's centered and that everything looks nice is Preview Mode, which can be toggled in the bottom right-hand corner of the window. Preview Mode turns off all the bounding boxes of your elements so that you can see what the design looks like as if it were going to be printed. I just adjusted the spacing between these two bodies of text and the logo so it looks a little better, just so it's more spaced out. One last thing we need to make sure of before we save our document is that our image template is filling the complete document size. If you zoom in, you'll notice this gap. We need to make sure that the edge of the template reaches past the red outlines of the document. To fix this issue, I'm going to select the background image, go to Image, adjust the X and Y scale slightly so that it will be made larger. Also make sure the image frame itself extends past the red outline. That looks much better. If we had left the gap there, it would not come out correctly because the background would not be filling the page. After making those last few adjustments, everything looks good. Make sure you save your document by going to File, Save As. You can name it whatever you'd like and save it wherever you'd like. We're going to name this Christmas Eve Service Flyer. That's how you can design a 24-inch by 36-inch event flyer in Scribus. We hope you found this tutorial helpful, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.